What's up, everybody? It's your man Danelle, aka Small Guy Promotions, aka the Omaha Fattie, coming with another podcast episode of What's Up Omaha. Today we have a wonderful guest. I'm excited about this guest because he shares a love for food. Mr. Ethan Teske. How you doing today, Ethan?
Fantastic. How are you doing?
Good, man. Good. So,
Thanks for having me on.
oh man, for sure. Once you reached out to me about the food challenges, man, I was like, ooh, he'd be a good person to talk to about, you know, uh, just food in general, but also it's a different spin, it's a different perspective, especially since you knocked out that challenge at the Vietnamese restaurant in La Vista.
Yeah, that was a huge pho challenge.
Yeah, man, yeah. So first off, you're not in Omaha, correct?
Correct. I live in the Twin Cities in Minnesota.
And so, how often do you travel for food challenges?
So I do a lot of traveling for work all over the Midwest, and
Okay.
I travel through Omaha and Lincoln every now and then.
Okay. And then, so how many times have you been to Omaha?
I've probably been to the Omaha area half a dozen times, I would guess.
Okay. And what started you on the food challenge journey? Like, how long have you been doing that?
I started doing food challenges way back in the summer of 2010. So yeah, I've been doing them for 10 years now. It's crazy.
Oh man.
But so back in 2010, Man versus Food was super popular on television with the original host,
Yeah.
Adam
Yeah.
Richman.
Yep.
And I was always a big fan of the show. Like I loved that he was able to go to different restaurants and try different foods. So growing up, I always had a large appetite.
Hmm.
Uh, we would never have leftovers because I would finish everything. And I thought Man versus Food was a pretty unique show, and I started going to doing some research, finding out local restaurants that had food challenges, and
Hmm.
I started doing some winning some of the smaller ones, but then a lot of the bigger challenges I was having a struggle finishing them before
Yeah.
I really knew the ins and outs of the wild world of competitive eating.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, appetite. I've always had a big appetite, so I think that kind of came naturally. And then I love going to different restaurants and not only trying different foods, but meeting all these great restaurant owners as well.
And so, what is like the? Do you have one memorable challenge that you've done at a place overall this time?
One of my favorite food challenges that I've done is, I mean, it's probably going to show my bias here, but it's actually right here in the Twin Cities.
Nothing wrong with
It's
that.
right. It's a Vietnamese sandwich place. They serve banh mi's, which
Yeah.
you're familiar with.
Yep.
Love them.
Yep.
And they, I unfortunately, I believe they discontinued the challenge. However, I was glad I was able to tackle it while it was still offered. The challenge was just an oversized banh mi. I think it was around 4 pounds total.
Yeah. Man,
And
that.
then
Oof.
I was going to say another interesting thing about that challenge. It was actually featured on the new Man versus Food
Yeah.
with the current host. So that was pretty cool that they got a lot of publicity from that being shown on national television. So that was cool.
Yeah, man. It's great to see that people share this love for food and, like you were saying, being able to see it. I know sometimes, like, watching the Food Network, you're just like, oh man, that looks so good. Like, or where they
Right.
at? Like, I wish I was there so I could try that. Or does Omaha have a place that's like that? Or wherever you live, you're trying to figure out if
Right.
there's some place that serves that something at least similar to what you're seeing on
Right.
TV. Um, but yeah, the food challenge one, that's a big a big thing. And didn't he have like some health issues or something because of all the eating? That's what I heard. It might have been a rumor back in the day, but
Right. I think that was one of the issues, just because if you're not careful what you're doing, it can just start to have a drastic effect on your health.
yeah, you probably gotta space them out a good amount of time and
Right.
whatnot, and make sure that if you're doing that, the rest of the diet is in order, so you can actually.
Exactly.
Uh, and so, when we talk about food challenges, uh, are you just doing the ones where it's like, hey, can you finish all this, or are you also doing like the competitive challenges where it's a race against other people?
I participate in both.
Okay.
I personally like doing the food challenges more, where I'm just competing. Essentially, I'm competing against myself
Right.
and against the restaurants. I I feel like it's a more laid back environment compared to the, as you had mentioned, the, I guess, speed eating, where you're
Yeah.
competing against other people. Uh, However, I have done quite a few contests against different people, all types of different foods I've eaten competitively.
Yeah.
And then I guess one of the big perks, though, that draws the actual eating contest head to head versus the man versus food type challenges is
Hmm.
usually for a man versus food challenge, you typically will get like a t-shirt, a gift card, and the meal free. But on that competitive head to head aspect, they're actually larger cash prizes. So that's kind of what draws people to that side of the sport.
Makes sense.
Right.
I've never like competed against anyone else to eat anything, but I don't know if you've ever heard of Kool-Aid days.
I Doesn't ring a bell. Kool-Aid days?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
So Kool-Aid was created in Hastings, Nebraska,
Okay.
and
I
every
did
year
not
they
know that.
have,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, they have a big shindig. It's like from Thursday through Sunday, and it's like a fair, and they have just all these different goodies and games and all this stuff, and then they
Okay.
have the world's largest Kool-Aid stand, and it's like 16 stands with two. Each stand has two flavors of Kool-Aid, so it's
Okay.
32 different flavors. So you like buy a cup, or actually, you might not even need to buy a cup. I can't remember how it works, but if you have a cup, you don't pay for any of the Kool-Aid. You just
Wow.
go and fill up, and you can take it back every day. Um,
Sure.
it's all over. Well, it used to be all over Hastings. Like they would do some races, like build your own floatable boat out of cardboard or whatever, and they would have a race. They had like a egg drop thing off the museum rooftop, so you would have to
Okay.
build some kind of contraption to where the egg wouldn't crack, and then they take them all up, and you have a number, and then they drop them off, and whoever gets the one that doesn't crack. I can't even remember if you get a prize or whatnot, but
Sure.
it's a real big thing, man. They have like a talent show and like I don't know, there's like models that are up on stage and stuff. It's just a huge thing, man. But one of the parts of
Do they still do that then?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay. I
yeah.
suppose
I would
maybe a
assume
little
that they
goofy with
probably
COVID
canceled.
this.
Oh yeah, yeah. They probably canceled it this year. I'm
Sure.
not sure, but because it's usually around this time, around August or so when they do it.
Okay.
Um, yeah, right when school starts back, I think is usually when they do it. Um,
Okay.
but they have a Kool-Aid drinking contest. They have it for
Jeez.
kids, where I think the kids do 8 or 12 ounces, and the adults will do, is it 34 or 32 ounces, and it's just whoever finishes the fastest. So
Okay.
I'm thinking, oh man, I've never like, I mean, if you're thirsty, you drink something fast sometimes,
Right.
but not straight and not racing against someone else. So a few years ago when we went out there, I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. So I was practicing the day before with just like a huge cup of water, and
Right.
trying to chug it as fast as I could. But man, once you get out there and you do it, like you see the people who like have experience and they've
Sure.
done it before, it's like a whole different level. Like I didn't think I was too slow when I drank mine, but these guys were like in like 7 seconds, man. And I'm just like, dude, that's 32 ounces. So it's a whole different like ball game when you're, talking about doing one of those actual competitions against other people.
Right. There are definitely more techniques involved in the competitive side.
Yeah. Everybody's got their little tricks.
Right.
So what was the first one that you ever entered into?
The very first food challenge I ever did was a burrito challenge in the Phoenix area. And if I remember correctly, it was around a 6 or 7 pound burrito, which was when I first started doing challenges at that time, that was way too big for me to finish. So I failed that one. And unfortunately I won't be able to go back to ever beat that again because I'm pretty certain the restaurant closed.
Oh man. Yeah,
But it's
you
all
always
good.
remember that one.
And as far as my first head-to-head eating contest, that I'm not 100% sure on.
Yeah. How many do you think you've done over the years?
For restaurant food challenges, I've defeated, I was just looking earlier today, 254.
Oh man.
And then and then eating contest, I used to keep track of my eating contest, but I don't really keep track of those anymore. But I'm guessing I've done a dozen or more.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a lot. 254. What is the scouting process like? Is it hard to find places that are doing food challenges?
There are a couple websites I use to find food challenges,
Okay.
and one of the main ones I use is it's just foodchallenges.com,
Okay.
which is one of my buddies actually runs that website.
Ah, nice.
So that's usually my go-to.
Okay.
And then a lot of food challenges I find out via word of mouth from other people like friends or family,
Okay.
or on social media too.
Yeah, that's the great thing about now.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And typically when I'm traveling to places for work, I'll try and do a little bit of research beforehand just to see if a challenge happens to pop up that I wasn't familiar with. I use like Facebook and Twitter to I feel like with those you can kind of be more specific with
Mhm.
searches, I guess, as far as challenges in various cities. And then I like that you can search by like year as well, so you can kind of look at the most recent stuff.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
Based on my experiences, it's been easier finding information about food challenges on social media versus just a typical Google search.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Facebook is such a like tool to like a big resource, man.
Right.
Sometimes it's like if you're looking for something, you're either going to Google or Facebook. Like,
Right.
uh, so
I feel like lately the search algorithm got a little strange on Facebook, so I feel like it doesn't work as well as it used to, but I
yeah,
don't know.
maybe they're getting too big. Maybe
Right. Oh yes.
that stock
Yeah.
price is like $300 a share. I don't even know.
Right.
um, so before we got on today, I reached out on my Facebook page to ask on my Omaha Fattie page to ask people if they knew of any challenges because I wanted to make sure that we could at least maybe get one or two for you. Um,
Right.
so I've got the reader article here that someone shared with me, and it says 6 Omaha food challenges. Are you fan enough? Uh, and the first one is the Porkosaurus challenge at Bailey's breakfast and lunch.
Okay.
It says,
That
wow.
that
Was
that
that?
one was on the new Man versus Food as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
was it?
Casey Webb came and did that.
Okay, I haven't seen this one, but yeah. So you're familiar with that one.
Yeah.
30 minutes or less. You have to finish 2 strips of thick cut bacon, 1 sausage patty, 2 sausage links, 1 piece of quartered andouille sausage, 1 ham steak, six six rashers of Canadian bacon, 3 eggs, and a stack of homemade fries covered in grilled onions and cheddar and jack cheese served beside biscuits and sausage gravy with your choice of 3 silver dollar pancakes or 2 slices of buttered toast. So it says it weighs 3 pounds and 7 ounces. Yep, and it says in there it was on Man versus Food.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I actually I've done that challenge, and it was really good because I love breakfast challenges. I feel like the most typical food challenges are burgers and pizza, which, don't get me wrong, I could eat a burger or pizza every day. But when doing food challenges, I always appreciate the variety.
Yep.
And breakfast challenges are one of my favorites to do, especially like that challenge. It included the silver dollar pancakes, which pancakes are probably my top favorite breakfast food.
Nice. You won't get any complaints from me there. I mean, that and the bacon, oh man. So then let me know I know we talked about E-Creamery before, and I know that's on this list. So we got that one number one.
I believe E-Creamery was actually my very first food challenge win in Nebraska.
Okay. So
I don't remember what year I did it, but yeah.
And put on the wall.
Yeah, that one. That one's I guess in the competitive eating world, it's known as a pay to play challenge, where you you pay to do it and you get your photo on the wall of fame, which there's nothing wrong with.
Yeah. I've seen that.
It's always nice to eat for free, though.
Oh yeah, it is. Tell me about it. Like we've gone to E-Creamery. Well, we used to go a lot, but I don't know. We just hadn't gone in the last few years. I actually said something to my wife about it. I'm like, hey, how come we haven't been to E-Creamery in a while? We don't really live over by the Dundee area.
Sure.
So that's probably part of it. It's just, it's not convenient to travel to. But she's also in the last couple of years got diagnosed with being allergic to dairy. So,
okay, sure.
Sometimes that one option that they have of non-dairy
mm-hmm.
ice cream is only like sherbet or something, and she's like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah, so, I hear you.
But yeah, that's a good one. Have you done the Stellinator at Stella's?
I have. I would say that is probably one of the most famous food challenges, like in the food challenge world. I think it's just because it's one thing, it's a stacked burger, so it's super high. You've seen it.
Yeah.
And it has the peanut butter on it, which is unique and awesome. Yeah, that I would love to go back to Stella's and do that again. It was a good burger. Or just enjoy a normal burger too.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, I'm just reading. I didn't know they had jalapenos on there too.
I don't recall jalapenos on there, but I know there are a bunch of different toppings on there.
Yeah, it says.
I remember there are lots of fried onions on it.
Yep, it says bacon, lettuce, tomato, fried onion, but like a lot of fried onions is what it says in parentheses. Pickles, jalapenos, and peanut butter. Man, yeah, that one's a tough one. So yeah, that one is a well-known one.
Right.
Uh, have you done the Big Joe at Frank's Pizzeria?
Yeah, there are two team pizza challenges in Nebraska that I'm aware of. That one, and then the Boss Pizza and Chicken down in Lincoln. And yeah, I did both of those team pizza challenges with another competitive eater. I was in the Omaha area for work, and she happened to be traveling through doing food challenges, and we happened to link up and knock those two out. So
Nice.
yeah, that was kind of cool because granted there are some competitive eaters in the world that could do those solo, but
Yeah.
not me. I don't have that large of a stomach capacity.
All right. So number 4 is the Dundee at the E Creamery. Number 5 is also one that we talked about. That's the Pig Wing Challenge at Starskis or Starkeys. I thought it was Starskis. Yeah, it was a typo.
Okay.
Yeah, it is
Oh, sure.
Starskis. And you said you have done that one too, right?
I tried it once and it didn't I wasn't successful. It's a big challenge.
Is
There
that gonna be a do-over one?
I maybe someday, but I would for sure have to be on my A game for that. The pig wings are absolutely delicious there, and they're kind of unique because I don't think I'd ever heard of them until I went to
That's the
that
only place.
restaurant.
That's the only place I've ever heard of that has
Yeah,
those. So
yeah. So yeah, it's cool because they're somewhat, I guess you would say, unique to the Omaha area because I'd never heard of them in Minnesota before.
yeah. And then it
And
looks like number 6, we've got, well, this one might not necessarily be a lot of food, but it says eat heat at Quaker Steak and Lube.
oh yeah, one of those lovely hot wing challenges.
Yeah.
Are you a Spice fan?
I like
Or does it
a
depend?
decent kick. Like,
Sure.
uh, that reminds me of that. I always think about this Man versus Food, where he does the wing challenge and they're so hot. It's got the ghost chilies or whatever.
Sure.
Like he's sitting in the freezer drinking milk and his lips are red. It looks like he's got lipstick on because it's so hot. And he couldn't finish that one. Oh man, no, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, it's wild because you never like I like hot stuff, don't get me wrong, but you never know, what sauce or what pepper or what extract is going to be used. Because
Yeah.
I've done some hot wing challenges where they've been hot, but I've, completed them and uh the aftermath wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But there was one hot wing challenge that it actually wasn't even a hot wing challenge. They were actually chicken tenders, and they were covered's probably not even the right word, soaked in some type of extract that I don't think was supposed to be used that way.
Yeah.
And
Man.
I finished it, but I honestly felt like death for the next day. It was miserable.
Oh man. Yeah. And then like when you eat that heat, sometimes it just sits in your stomach
Right.
and you just, oh man, it's not pleasant. Uh,
But yeah, getting back to that challenge, uh, do you know if that place is still operating in
yep,
the
I
Omaha
believe
area?
so.
Okay,
I know
because
we
that
went
I
probably about, it's been a couple of years since we've gone, I think, but I believe it's still open.
okay.
It's over
Because
in
the reason
Thompson
why
One.
sure, because the reason why I asked was because they had some around where I live, and as far as I know, they all closed down. And I did, and I could be wrong, like I haven't checked my sources, but I did do that location at the Fargo, North Dakota
Hmm.
restaurant. And that
Uh,
one, if I remember correctly, they were hot, but it wasn't like I hate my life.
well, yeah, it says it's still open. So
Okay.
And then the last one is the one that we talked about at Sinful Burger, which sounds like it's not there anymore per this article from the Reader. So I don't know. We'll have to keep I'll keep my eyes and ears open to see if we can find anything, and I'll make sure to keep you in the loop.
Yeah,
Um,
that'd be awesome. I'm sure there's got to be some undiscovered or one that's not marketed super well.
yeah.
And I actually was able to do Sinful Burger before they quit
Oh,
doing
okay.
their challenge. And it kind of shocked me when I heard that they quit doing the challenge because I wouldn't say it was an easy challenge. Uh, but I think there was an hour time limit, and if I remember correctly, it took me like 50 some minutes. So I just kind of barely squeaked by finishing it.
Yeah.
So I was kind of shocked that they quit doing it because I don't think a lot of people were defeating it. And that was another unique challenge too, because the burger is not served with an oversized bun. It was served on a Indian fry bread,
Yeah.
which is fantastic, delicious.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was a little disheartened when I heard they quit doing that, but
Well,
I'm sure they had a reasoning.
I know the owner through Facebook, Jim Nearing, so I'll have to ask him if they're doing that or not, or why they stopped them.
Yeah,
But it says it's yeah, four pounds of burger in an hour is what you get. So
right. And then I think it came with a big basket of fries too.
oh man,
So yeah,
yeah, I don't know,
lots of carbs with that, with the big Indian fry bread, and then all the French fries.
man. See, French fries, I feel like I can eat forever, so I don't think that would be a problem. I like my strategy would probably be to save those for the end, because
That's
yeah, I think the problem would definitely be the burger.
right.
Oh,
That's that's typically what most people that do food challenges do. They'll save the fries for last and eat the protein while it's still hot.
yeah. And did you ever? I can't remember. I know we talked about it, but did you ever do the challenge when B&B was around? B&B hot dogs.
I did, yeah. The
Dogs
that
love.
was that was cool too because I think if I remember correctly, you got to pick your toppings that you had on the hot dog, and they had a peanut butter option too, which was awesome.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bummer that they aren't in, they're not in business anymore. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time there. That they had good food, and Diane's a great lady.
Yeah. Yeah. She is. Like I actually, Jerry. Um, I've known him, or I had known him since I was like 18. We used
Oh
to always
wow,
hang out over
okay,
at his house when we were
cool,
younger. So with his daughter and stuff. So she was
sure.
working there still after he passed and whatnot. Um, you know,
Hmm.
just crazy that that happened and they had to close, or she decided to
Right,
close down. I was actually just
right.
talking to Diane this week because she was trying to find some place to get rid of her trays too, the little plastic like 9-inch trays. She had
Oh
a
sure.
stack of them that she was trying to donate to another restaurant, but she found one. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I stay in touch with her every now and again. I know when COVID first started, we ran into each other at the grocery store. So
Okay.
yeah, she's doing well though. She's working a gig now, a job, and
Okay.
back to a more regular life, I guess, working for someone.
Sure.
Ah,
Sure. Yeah, I can't imagine the just running a restaurant takes a lot of patience, and
yeah,
you're just
well,
busy nonstop.
yeah, yeah. Well, and they were, catering and open up a second location too, and
Sure.
they were always busy. And you go on a Friday or Saturday night, it seemed like it was packed. Um, but yeah, real good people over there. The kids that worked there were always super nice, and
Hmm.
it was really cool when they started doing. You were speaking of breakfast; they did breakfast or a brunch on Sundays because
Okay.
there was not really a lot of places that had like a buffet, style brunch. So they started doing that on Sundays, and I think it went over pretty well. I know we went a few times, so
Okay.
definitely missed that place, man. We've had birthday
Right.
parties there for my daughters. Like, yeah, that's I, the places in Bellevue, or some of them. I'm really tight with some of those places, and it's a real good food community, business
Right.
community. They support each other, so shout out to Bellevue. um, so do you
There are a
think?
couple other challenges, or sorry, go.
Oh no, you're fine.
I
Go
was
ahead.
going to say that there are a couple other challenges I thought of that are in the area too that we didn't mention. So there's a Sickies which just opened up in Bellevue in the last, I don't know, year or two, I want to say.
Yep, last year.
And I've done their challenge at their their original stores in Fargo, North Dakota. So I did that at their home location there. And then the only other one I could think of, right across in Council Bluffs, there's a place called the Buck Snort, and they have a handful of locations around, like that part of Iowa. I think they're all on the Iowa side. Yeah, I think it's like a burger slash barbecue sandwich, like hybrid.
Yeah,
which is pretty solid.
I'd try that. Yeah.
And I was gonna ask you about your shirt. That's a restaurant in Omaha, right?
Yeah, Ray's Wings. Yep, Ray's Buffalo Wings.
Okay. I want to say I was doing some research, and it might not be that place, but there was some wing place, a local place that did a wing eating contest. But I did some research, but it didn't look like it was a challenge that's offered every day. I think it was a place that I think they say they serve a authentic Buffalo New York style wings.
Oh yeah,
is that place? Okay.
That's probably yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Ray is from.
I couldn't remember for sure, but okay.
I believe the story is he's from New York.
Sure.
Yeah, we ran into them because they used to actually be in South Omaha before they moved downtown or to Midtown.
Okay.
And we lived in South Omaha, just, what was it, like 12 blocks away. So on Sundays during football season, oh man, that was the go-to. So those burgers were really good, man. I'll have to ask them about that then.
Okay.
I'll send them a message and see if Chris or Tom get back to me about if they have that challenge at all.
Just what I want to rope myself into. No, but that'd be cool. Yeah, I'd appreciate it if you asked about that.
Yeah, man. I'll reach out to Chris after we get done. Cool. And maybe that's what we do. Maybe we put a challenge out there to the local restaurant. Say, hey, man, if you guys don't have a food challenge, hey, let's get it going. Let's put it on the map so you can come. We can get down. That one that you did finish, the FUD, the Vietnamese restaurant La Vista. That was the only one that I've ever tried. I had no experience doing it, and
that was a pretty big one that you chose to do for your first one.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. I was like, ooh, a food challenge. I was like, okay, I love that food. Let's try it.
Yeah, and it was cool to showcase the challenge, but then the restaurant too.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. That's what Small Guy Promotions and Omaha Fattie is about. Is just trying to support those local businesses and restaurants.
Right.
Speaking of that, is that how you found me? Is from the challenge?
Yeah. Just via social media.
Yeah.
I was just searching for food challenges on Facebook, and your video happened to pop up. I'm like, I'll reach out to this guy.
Yeah, man. Like you said, a big challenge of that was just it being so hot.
Right.
Like in having time.
You probably saw my photos at I think it was the finishing photo that Casey took, and my face was just beet red because it was all the steam and then how hot the broth was.
Yeah.
And a thing, a bowl of pho that size never cools down.
Yeah, man. That's why I said I feel like it it was still, I mean, it wasn't hot at the end, but
Right.
it stayed warm that whole 45
Right.
minutes. And I was just like, dude, there's no way. There's
Right.
there's no way.
I did talk to Casey a little bit before like he clocked me in for the challenge, just to like try and buy some time to get it to cool off a little.
Yeah. Yep. That's the thing, man. By the time it does cool down a little bit and you're able to eat some, it's just like you're against the clock for real once that starts. So
Yeah, exactly.
how long did it take you to finish that?
I believe it was around 26 minutes. I think they give you 45 minutes to do that.
Yep, 45. Yep. Man.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with my time. That was only the second pho challenge I've ever done. The other one I did is actually just down the road from me in St. Paul.
How, like, what is your preparation process? Like, what is that like? Because you don't look like a very big guy.
Right. So I'm 6'3", and I don't know, that's probably around 200 to 15. So it's kind of funny whenever I do challenges, because I don't consider myself to be like a small dude, because
Yeah.
I mean, I just told you my frame. But whenever I finish food challenges, I'd say 95% of the time that's what I get. It they're like, how's such a small guy like you fit all this food inside? And it's funny too, because a lot of my competitive eating friends are kind of the same built as me. Like they're just tall, and I don't know if slender is the right word, but yeah, as far as preparation goes, I'll typically fast. I usually like to fast 18 to 24 hours before the actual challenge or contest.
Mm-hmm.
And then the normal stomach can't hold a large amount of food. So different competitive eaters have different ways of, I guess I'd call it stomach expansion training.
Yeah.
And some people or some competitive eaters' methods are a little more extreme than others.
Yeah.
Especially like some of the top elite competitive eaters in the world. Like they train like crazy, and I guess that's why they're considered to be the best. But as far as what I do, in the past I've bought like the largest watermelon I could find at a grocery store.
Yeah.
And I would chop that all up, and then I would try to eat it as quick as possible. And the thing that was kind of nice about training with watermelon is it's a low calorie food, and there's a lot of fiber in it, so your body processes it quickly, and then it stretches your stomach out at the same time too.
Yeah.
And like I'll drink a lot of water throughout the day, and like Gatorade and Powerade to keep the electrolytes in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do for training.
Dude, you must have to like I know like we eat it, well, I eat most of it when we do it, but watermelons,
Yeah.
like 2 days or so, maybe 3, a whole watermelon is gone, and it's so different. I can drink like a whole, like 2 or 3 of these of water and not run to the restroom as much as I do when I eat watermelon, man. Like I'm just
going
to the restroom.
Yeah, it's weird,
it's like
how
immediate.
Right.
Man, we actually have 2 in the kitchen now. My wife got from
Nice.
a lady, so I need to cut those up, at least one of them up tonight. I
Okay.
ate one or I finished one off yesterday, I think, or no, maybe it was Tuesday. I finished one off, so I
Okay.
got two more in there. A little
Nice.
watermelon.
Oh, earlier you had talked about, or I guess we had kind of talked about like the frequency of me doing food challenges.
Yeah,
So I like to spread them apart if I can, because I guess that's kind of how we got on the topic of like how doing competitive eating can be unhealthy, and like people can put on weight quickly if they're, eating thousands of calories like on a daily basis.
yeah,
Uh, so yeah, I don't, outside of doing food challenges, granted I'll go to town like during holidays or if I go to a buffet, but my regular diet is I don't eat a ridiculous amount every day, and I usually eat pretty clean, and I always tell people that I prefer to eat my calories instead of drinking them.
yeah, yep. I hear a lot of people say that.
And like I try to stay active too, to physical fitness is important too.
Yep, dude. Yeah, I will tell you, since COVID, I have put on 30 pounds. So, and that's just from trying
Yeah,
to go out and support these restaurants all the time.
sure.
You know,
Yeah,
and being, I'm not one to really like to go out and like just jog or something like that. So
sure.
we do jujitsu, but I didn't do jujitsu for probably 3.5 months. I don't even know how long.
Okay,
So
sure,
yeah, sitting, and I was working more, so I was sitting down at my table
sure.
for
Understandable. Yeah,
12 hours a day, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I was eating out
right.
all 3 of those days, and it just, before I knew it, I was like, oh, what? How did this happen? so, so I'm still trying to. I need to work that back down, man, because
Sure.
I definitely can't train. I mean, training is harder at this weight, so
Sure.
yeah, and I felt so good when I was lighter, so I definitely need to get back to that.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, do you have a plan or a date set up for your next challenge, and do you know where it will be?
That I don't have a range yet. I feel like they're just kind of they kind of, what do I want to say? I just kind of find out about them as they come, like just
Yeah,
because I've done majority of them in Minnesota where I live. So typically the only time I get to do them now is if I travel somewhere and happen to stumble across a new one.
yeah,
And then ever since uh, COVID hit, the competitive eating scene kind of has, like, it's always dying, but ever
yeah,
since COVID, it kind of is just dying even more, because a lot of the big time of eating contest is typically in the summer, and so many, as we had mentioned earlier, there are so many, all the your local events that have eating contests canceled. So
yeah, yep, yep. That's the
yeah, it's kind of up in the air right now.
uh, well, at least you got the pho challenge in,
Right.
um,
And I'm sure you probably saw on my social media recently that in the past week, I did do some traveling for work, so I was able to do a handful.
oh no, I'll have to check that out though. I'll make sure to do
All
that.
right.
So yeah, speaking of that, I mean, that's pretty much all I have for you. I mean, do you have anything
Okay.
that we didn't talk about that you'd like to tell anyone who would be listening or watching?
Yeah, I think we did a good pretty good at talking about competitive eating, and yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add on.
Well, I do have one more question along those
Yeah.
lines. When you do these challenges, are you video or broadcasting anything, or are you just taking photos at the end, or?
Sometimes I'll record them, and sometimes I just take photographs.
Okay.
Like I kind of wish years ago I would have invested in a decent camera and editing stuff, but that's all good.
Yeah, yeah. You know what they
But
always say? Quality, man. Quality doesn't necessarily mean that it's the top of the line equipment and all.
Right.
That. So
yeah, like some of my buddies in the competitive eating world have pretty successful YouTube channels, but
yeah. One day. So are you on YouTube as well? Where can people find you if they want to follow you?
So I do post some videos on YouTube, and then I post most of my challenges on Instagram, and then just various food in general. Like I love donuts and ice cream, so whenever I go to new towns, I hit up the local ice cream shops and donut shops, and just various food pictures of foods that I cook or bake. But yeah, all my social media is just Ethan Teske. So if you just do a search for my full name,
cool,
that social media will pop up.
Cool. Well, that's what it is, man. Ethan, thank you again for reaching out to me, man. It's great to connect with you. I'll make sure to look out for your stuff. And if you do come to Omaha again, let me know, and maybe we can hopefully go out to eat. I don't know. We still haven't went out
right.
to eat yet, aside from a patio. But we'll
sure.
But yeah, man. Again, thank you for being a guest and agreeing to come on and talk about your food journey. I love hearing about it, and it's pretty exciting, man. So that's what it is, man. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. If you're listening to the audio podcast, you don't have to subscribe anywhere, but you can listen and you can still share. Help us grow. Help us get the word out about all the businesses and restaurants that are doing great things, not only in Omaha, but in the Twin Cities or wherever. Follow Ethan. And that's what it is, man. Thank you guys so much. Smile, help someone else smile, laugh and help someone else laugh all day, every day. Have a wonderful one, y'all. Peace out. Thank you, Ethan.
Thanks, Danelle. Take care.
All right, you too, man.